Dear student, today I am going to teach you how to solve a problem by using searching algorithm in artificial intelligence. As we know that artificial intelligence is the study of building agents that act rationally. Most of the time, these agents perform some kind of search algorithm in the background in order to achieve their task. The task may be to solve any kind of problem like chess problem, tic-tac-toe problem, any kind of gaming algorithms may be create or any kind of problem which is not solving by the data structure polynomial time or non-polynomial time, it can be solved by the help of these searching algorithms. The main aim of searching algorithms to solve these kind of problem. So a searching problem consists of a state space. As we have already discussed, state space is a set of all possible states where you can be. This is set of all permutations from uh, from the start state to goal state. The start state is the start from where the search begins. A goal is test, a function that looks at the current state, return whether or not it is the goal state. So goal test return either it is a goal state or not goal state. It checks from the current state. The solution to the search problem is a sequence of actions called the plan that transform the start state to goal state. The solution of the search problem return a goal state. The plan is achieved through search algorithms. So there are several search algorithms in artificial intelligence. So this is classified mainly two types: uninformed search and informed search. Uninformed search has no heuristic function, and informed search contain heuristic function. The main function of heuristic to improve the search efficiency. But uninformed search doesn't contain any heuristic kind of functions. It has no information. It means it has no guide. So on the basis of some data structure, uninformed search is divided into three categories. On the basis of LIFO stack, it is a depth first search, and on the basis of FIFO strategy, it is divided into the breadth first search, and on the basis of the priority queue cost of the node, it is called uniform cost search. This is some restriction on depth first search. When we apply some restriction on depth first search, then it will called a depth limited search when imposed fixed depth limit. When you gradually increase fixed depth limit, then this is called iterative deepening. And informed search are three kinds of: generate and test, hill climbing, and there are several other variations: best first search, problem reduction, tester satisfaction, mean and analysis. Best first search, under the best first search, we will understand in next class A star algorithms, or you can say that A star search. And in the problem reduction, we will understand AO star search, or you can say that the AO star algorithms. So when we talk about the uninformed search strategy, uninformed search, also called blind search strategy, use only the information available in the problem definition. It doesn't contain extra information to go from the start state to the goal state. It is also called brute force search because it assumes no additional knowledge other than how to traverse the tree and how to identify the leaf node and goal nodes. It is a search without information, no knowledge, no guide, time and space can be. For example, if we are talking about traveling salesman problem, when we solve this problem using uninformed search strategy, then according to traveling salesman problem, here is the one city. From that city, the traveling salesperson have to go from that city and visit all the cities in minimum cost or minimum cost path and return to the starting city. So if we are taking 5 city, so there may be possibility equal to 5 minus 1 factorial. equal to 4 factorial. It means 24 possibilities will be to visit all the cities. So in uninformed search strategy, there will be state space will be more. There are several strategies to solve the come under uninformed search strategy. Which one has the breadth first search, uniform cost search, depth first search, depth limited search, iterative deepening search. So each of these algorithms will contain points, following key points. The problem graph contains the start node S and the goal node G. There may be any graph or tree which contains a start node and goal node already defined. A strategy describing the manner in which the graph will be traversed to get to G. And third one is the fringe. Fringe is actually a data structure like tree, like graph, like stack, queue, linked list, maybe any kind of data structure called fringe. A fringe, which is a data structure used to store all the possible state nodes that you can go from the current states. A tree that result while traversing to the goal node. A solution plan, which is a sequence of nodes from S to G. Measuring problem solving performance. How to solve these algorithms performance? Following are the points by which you can measure the performance of these kind of algorithms. So on the basis of these points, we can judge this algorithm is better and this algorithm complexity is better. This algorithm is fast. This algorithm time complexity or space complexity is better. This algorithm is optimal. This algorithm finish or not finish. So these are the following ones. So first point says that completeness. Is the algorithm guaranteed to find a solution when there is one? If some algorithm has some solution, then definitely we will get. This is called completeness of that particular algorithm. Second one is the time complexity. It means how long does it take to find a solution. Third one is space complexity. How much memory is needed to perform the search. Optimality. Optimality means solution quality is measured by the path cost function. And an optimal solution has the lowest path cost among all solutions. So that solution has the lowest cost, which will be the optimal algorithms. Time and space complexity are measured in terms of B, B and M. B is the branching factor or maximum number of successor of any node of the search tree. Any node has successor. So branching factor says that the maximum number of successor of any node of the search tree is called the branching factor. D is the depth of the shallowest goal node. It means where the goal is found. Shallowest goal node is that where the goal is found. Till that we want to find the depth. That is the number of steps along the path from the root. M is the maximum depth of any path in the state space. M contains maximum depth of any path. It may be infinite. Where some path length will be infinite, then this is very much difficult to find the goal node in this kind of path. So now I am going to discuss first breadth first search. Breadth first search is based on the queue and first in first out concept. Breadth first search is a simple strategy in which the root node is expanded first. Then all the successor of the root node are expanded next, then their successor, and so on. In general, all the nodes are expanded at a given depth in the search tree before any node at the next level are expanded. So in this case, we have to expand the node level wise. Before going to next level, you have to finish all the node of the current level. So shallowest unexpanded node is chosen for expansion. So the last node which we have searched, that have to explore, that have to expansion for next level. Fringe is a FIFO queue, that is new successor go at the end. By the diagram you can see that E is a node, we have to keep it in first in first out manner queue, and its successor B and C will become an open list. And first B come, then C. So according to the on the basis of first come first search, we have to explore first V, and we will open its node D and E, and we will visit later. First in queue C is appeared, so we will explore C. If C is not a goal node, then we will open the its successor F and G and put in these F and G into the queue. Now we will explore D and E. If D and E are not goal node, then we will explore F and G. If F and G are, if F or any FG is goal node, then we will return that. Otherwise, we will say that we could not find the goal node. So this is the strategy of breadth first search, where we have to find the goal node on the basis of the label wise search. When we talk about the time complexity of breadth first search, so breadth first search with the time complexity order of v to the power d, where v is the branching factor in the d the depth of the goal node solution. Goal node. The root of the search tree generated b nodes at the first level, each of which generate b more node for a total of b square at the second level. Each of these generate b more node, yielding bq node at the third level, and so on. Now suppose that solution is at depth d. In the worst case, it is last node generated at that level. Then the total number of nodes generated is 1 at the level 0, and b is the level 1, b square in level 2, and b in level 3, and so on, and we will get order of b to the power d. When we talk about goal node, so first going to goal node explore, we have already generated its successor, so space complexity will increase, and time will also increase. So if the algorithm were to apply the goal test to node when selected for expansion rather than when generated, the whole layer of the node at depth d would be expanded before the goal was detected, and the time complexity would be order of b to the power d plus 1. So in this case of breadth first search, the time complexity will be one more level, because we have uh, opened its successor before find goal node. So these are the properties of the breadth first search. It's complete because it's provide the solution in finite number of steps. And time complexity is order of b to the power d, and space complexity will be order of b to the power d. Keeps every node in memory. Optimal, it's provide optimal solution. Actually, in case of the uniform cost search, we have we found the cost of each node, but here we don't denote cost of each node, so we assume that cost of each node per step will be 1. So in this case, it has the lowest path cost among all solution, so this is optimal. So in this algorithm, in this breadth first algorithm, memory requirement are bigger problem as well as execution time. This is depth first search. In depth first search, we have to use stack, or you can say that you can use queue also, but it will be used in a LIFO manner, last in first out. So, so we can use stack because stack is already work in a last in first out manner. So in deep first search, we have to search the node in depth first. Then it's depth and depth by depth. If you will not find the goal node in depth, then you have to return back, or you can say that you should take backtrack and then go to the another level. So depth first search always expand the deepest node in the current top of the search tree. The search proceeds immediately to the deepest level of the search tree where the node have no successor. As those nodes are expanded, they are dropped from the top. So then the search backup as well as you can set the backtrack to the next deepest node that still has unexplored successor. That node has not an explored. In this case, expand deepest unexpected node first. Then, if all the deepest unexpected node has have been finished, then we will backtrack. Implementation fringe is a LIFO stack that is put new successor at the top. For example, we are explaining depth first search by the help of this diagram. So here you can see that first of all we are taking node A in this tree. If this is not a goal node, if A is not a goal node, then we will explore its successor B and C. Now we will put these B and C in the stack, where B will be the top of B will be in the top of the stack. So further we will explore B. It means we will open the successor of B, that is called D and E, in open list. Then D will be on the top of stack. So we will further explore the D and its successor will H and I. If H doesn't have its successor, then we will check that if H is goal node, if H is not goal node, then we will go its right direction. If this is not goal, then we will take backtrack and we will reach to D, D to B, and B is children's E. If E is not goal node, then explore we will explore its successor J and K and check J and K. If these are not goal node, then we will further backtrack and explore the successor of A, which is called C. Then C will be in the top, and after visiting C, we will explore its node F and G, and F will be in the top. So we will explore L and M. After finishing L and M, we will explore C's successor by backtracking, and after G, explore its successor N and O, and we will find goal node from N and M. If in this position goal node is not found, then we will say that goal node is not found. So the drawback of the depth was such that the the depth should be infinite. So there is we will lost in blind alley and infinite depth space. So it doesn't contain that this algorithm will be complete. So it is not complete. Its time complexity is order of v to the power m. It's very high, terrible if m is much larger than t. But if solutions are dense, may be much faster than breadth first. Space complexity is order of b to the power m, that is linear space. It's not optimal. The another version of the depth first search is the depth limited search, where you have to fix the depth of limit L. So the benefit of this depth is that you will not lost in blind alley. The, the embracing failure of depth first search is infinite state space can be elevated by supplying depth first search with a predetermined depth limit L. That is, node at depth L are treated as if they have no successor. This approach is called depth limited search. The depth limit solve the infinite path problem. So the problem which are which were coming in depth first search will be eliminated by this depth limited search. But there may be possibility this depth limited search also has some discrepancy is that if that limit that levels you are limited of this searching, it is possible that node will not occur, goal node is not found, goal node is apart from this, so this strategy fails. This is not complete, and we cannot say that this provide the optimal solution. Unfortunately, it also introduces an additional source of incompleteness. If we choose L less than equal to D, that is, the goal is beyond the depth limit. It means you can say that if your goal is deeper than this limit, then this searching algorithm is incomplete. Its time complexity or order of b to the power n, because its branching factor will be b and L will be the depth limits. So its time complexity will be order of b to the power L. In case of the depth first search, its time complexity or order of b to the power d. Here L is less than d, so its time complexity is lesser than in comparison to depth first search. And its space complexity is order of b multiplication of L. Depth first search can be viewed as a special cause of depth limited search with L equal to infinite. When you say that L equal to D or L equal to infinite, then the depth first search and depth limited search will be same. This is the next variations of depth limited search, or you can say the depth first search. That is called iterative deepening search, as well as you can say that iterative deepening depth first search, or you can say the depth first search with iterative deepening, often used in combination of depth first search tree that find the best depth limit. Here you have to also limit the depth. So you in depth limited search you have to initially fix the limit in one time, but here you gradually level wise fix the depth limit. It does thus by gradually increasing the limit, first 0, then 1, then 2, and so on until a goal node is found. Iterative deepening combines the benefit of depth first search and breadth first search. Like depth first search, its memory requirements are modest, order of V into D. To be precise, like breadth first search, it is complete when the branching factor is finite and optimal when the first cost is non-decreasing function of the depth of the node. In an iterative deepening search, the node on the bottom level, depth D, are generated once. Those on the next to bottom level are generated twice, and so on, up to the children of the node, which are generated D times. So the total number of nodes generated in the first case, which give a time complexity of order of D to the power D, asymptotically the same as the breadth first search. Because the problem of this iterative deepening search is that you are going in deep, but on that deep, if you could not find the goal node, then you have to again backtrack. So you can visit all the nodes. You will have to visit the all the nodes of that particular true. So its concept will be the combined form of the depth first search as well as the breadth first search. So as we know, the breadth first search has more complexity in comparison to the depth first search. So its complexity increase similar to breadth first search. So we will describe it by example. Iterative deepening search, when we are taking limit equal to 0, then you you have to search the goal node at level 0. If you find, then return, otherwise you have to increase one more level, as well as you can set the limit you have to increase by 0 to 1. And if the goal node is not found A, then you will explore the successor of A and B. Then you will search the goal node at B position. If it's B is not goal node, then you have to um, meet that C is goal node. If C is goal node, then you have to return back. If C is a goal node, then you can return this is the goal node. Otherwise, you will increase the depth limit by 2. Then you can say that how you will search the node till here. You could not find the goal node. Then now you will explore the successor of B, which is called D and E. Now you can now you can uh, think that D is a goal node or not. If D is not a goal node, then you have to go to um, seek E. If E is not goal node, then take backtrack and match your goal node with C. If C is not goal node, then you have to explore its successor, which is called F and G. If F is not goal node, then you will have to go at G. If G is goal node, then you have to return G. Otherwise, gradually you have to increase one more limit. In one more limit, the criteria will be different from the previous search. You always start from A. If A is not goal node, then you have to search this level B or C. If B is not goal node, then you have to explore its D and G according to the stack. If D will be in the top of the stack, so you have to explore the value of D and D, that is the H and E, and H will be on the top. If H is not a goal node, then you have to explore I, then you have to take backtrack, then you have to explore E, its successor J and K. If J and K not the goal state, then you have to again backtrack and go to the C and explore the its successor F and G, and F will be the top of the stack. So first of all, you have to explore the successor of the F, which are the L and M. If L and M are not uh, its goal node, then you have to take backtrack in this subtree, then match with G. If G is not goal node, then you have to follow the you have to open its successor and O and match. If it's not matching, then you have to return that the goal node is not found. Otherwise, you can increase one more limit, L equal to 4. So this is also too much time consuming, similar to breadth first search. So it's complete. It will complete because every time you are increasing one limit. So when your limit will be equal to the depth first search, then its behavior will be similar to the depth first search. So each provides a solution definitely if exist time complexity order of b to the power d and space complexity order of b multiplication d, and optimal, it's optimal if step cost equal to 1. And the last searching is uniform cost search. Uniform cost searching is different from breadth first search and depth first search because here the cost come into play. Here with every node we have to associate some cost. In other words, traversing by different edges might not have the same cost. In case of the breadth first search and depth first search, you have to find that this is the uniform cost search, uniform cost, which is called 1. Here might not have the same cost. The goal is to find a path where the cumulative sum of cost is least. We have to find the goal that has cumulative cost is least in comparison with other. In in case of the traveling salesman problem, when we take the example of traveling salesman problem, if you are taking 5 cities and the traveling salesman return starting city to starting city to visit all the city and back to that starting node, then that path we have to take which have the least cost. The cost of node is defined as cost of node is the cumulative cost of all node from root and cost of root equal to 0. This is the example of uniform cost search. CVU is the starting node and Bucharest is the goal node. So if you want to find the path from the Cebu to Bucharest, then either you can go by the Fragras or you can go by the Remencu Velicia Petesi. So when we calculate path from Cebu to Bucharest by using Fragras, then by using Fragras, the cost 80 is the example shown in figure where the problem is to get from Cebu to Bucharest. The successor of Cebu are Reminicu, Valencia and Fragras with cost 80 and 99 respectively. The least cost node Reminicu Villa is expanded because cost from Cebu to Reminicu, Valencia are expanded which are the 80 and the cost from Cebu to Fragras are 99. Next adding Pedasi with cost 80 plus 97 is 177. The least cost node is now Fragras. So it is expanded. Adding Bucharest with 99 plus 211 equal to 310. Now a goal node has been generated. But uniform cost searching keep going. Choosing Patesi for expansion and adding a second path to Bucharest with cost 80 plus 97 plus 101 equal to 278. So this path cost is lesser in comparison to the 310. 278 is lesser in comparison to 310. So we will go from Cebu to Bucharest by using this path, which contains the city Remenicu and Belicia. Now the algorithm check to see if this new path is better than the old one. It is. So the old one is discarded. Bucharest now with graph cost is 278 is selected for the expansion and the solution is. The properties of the uniform cost search. Let C is the cost of solution and epsilon are the arc cost. Then C upon epsilon are the effective depth. Time complexity will be order of n to the power C upon A, C upon epsilon and space complexity equal to order of n to the power C upon epsilon. The advantage of uniform cost search is complete and it is optimal. Disadvantage is that explore option in every direction. No information on goal location because this is the uninformed search. So this is the summary of algorithm on the basis of the performance criteria complete, time, space and optimal. So when we talk of the breadth first search, is it a complete? Its time complexity is the order of b to the power d plus 1 and a space complexity order of b to the power d plus 1 and it's optimal. And uniform cost also provide a solution if it definitely. And its time complexity order of b to the power c upon epsilon, and space complexity also same, and it's optimal. That for such, we cannot say it will be complete. It will provide a solution if either it is exist or not. Time complexity order of b to the power m, and space complexity it is order of b multiplication m, and it's not optimal. Then we talk of the depth limited search, which is the variation of depth first search, which is not provide guarantee that it will be complete or not. Its time complexity will be lesser than, and depth first search equal to order of b to the power l, because l is less than, and space complexity order of b multiplication n, and it will also not be optimal. Iterative deepening search will definitely provide solution if it exists. Time complexity is order of b to the power d, and space complexity order of multiplication d, and let's provide the optimal solution. Thank you so much.